Alrighty, hello Hawkeye fans, and welcome to yet another Hawk2Hawk interview. Today, joining me from Hawkeye football, you know him, you love him, of course, head coach Kirk Ferentz. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Laura. How about you?
I'm doing really well, just powering through, you know. I
Day at a time.
That's exactly right. I'm excited to talk some Hawkeye football, though. I think we're all missing it a little bit. You had Tristan Wirfs, AJ Epinesa, Michael Ojemudia, Geno Stone, and Nate Stanley all had their names called, which is absolutely fantastic. That's a pretty incredible draft class, if you ask me. What were some of your initial reactions following the draft?
Well, just overall, really excited for the guys and very pleased to have 5 guys drafted. It's a really special moment for them. Not unlike earning an opportunity to go to a college. That's always an exciting thing for not only the players but their families as well. And then the draft is kind of a pinnacle, if you will. I think most of the guys that play in our program dream and aspire to be NFL players at some point. We always try to tell them, keep things in perspective and realize, too, it's a short window, even if you're fortunate enough to play. But all that being said, it's a real great opportunity for them. And whether it be the 5 draft picks or the 3 guys that signed free agent contracts, I think, it's just a really neat. It's kind of like the summation of their college careers, plus it's the opening of a new chapter for them. So it's really exciting.
Yeah, and you mentioned the 3 guys that signed the undrafted free agent contracts. You've got Christian Welch, Cedric Lattimore, Nate Weeding, all guys that we've all seen work their tails off to get to the spots that they were at Iowa. But what can you say about those 3 guys and the way that they're going to work to try to earn a spot on the roster?
I always remind them that, everybody wants to get drafted and everybody wants to be a first rounder. The reality is it's really difficult to do. But we've had, a lot of free agents make it as NFL players. And, most recently, if you look at the Super Bowl, Ben Neiman was out there playing a lot, probably 35, 40% of the snaps for Kansas City's defense and special teams. And, he was a free agent 2 years ago. So there's a lot of opportunity. The whole thing, whether you're a free agent or a first rounder, really what matters as they move forward is what they do whenever they show up for work at their respective teams.
So I want to talk 2020 Hawkeye football now. At this point, your team's usually just wrapping up with spring ball, which is kind of crazy to think about. You guys would have gone through that entire long process by this point. But have you guys been trying to kind of emulate spring ball at all, or is it even possible over like video calls and such?
Yeah, unfortunately, all the football is talk right now. Everything we've been doing has been talk for 6 weeks. So, but that's one of those things nobody could have forecast, certainly. Although I know that gets bandied about in the political arena. But, bottom line is, nobody saw this coming. It happened very quickly that second week of March. And, all of a sudden on the 13th, we found out that, the world looked a lot differently back in March. So, one thing I told our guys back then is, it was a Friday. I said, whatever we think we may know today is going to look a lot different tomorrow. And then, it's just going to keep compounding. So, the biggest thing is, I think, when it became apparent that our players weren't coming back, that we weren't going to have spring ball, first and foremost in my mind was, where are guys going to settle? Where are they going to stay at home? Are any of them come back to Iowa City? And then, what are their circumstances? What's their environment? Are they going to be in a place where they're going to get the right nutrition, be able to rest, and then obviously finish up their academic work in a totally different realm. So we've really chosen to focus on that, making sure our guys are stable, they're doing what they need to do academically, and then we've done a lot of communication work, but it's all been more about just hey, what's going on in your life right now? What issues are you having? How can we help? Who can help? And then just trying to stay connected as a team. But we really haven't done anything football-wise. I know some schools have chosen to do that, and the NCAA has allowed us, by rule, they've allowed us 8 hours a week of virtual learning. Our choice is right now to have our guys focus on finishing this semester in really good fashion, doing what they can do given their circumstances for training. And then we'll worry about football after finals are over and try to put that in a different compartment right now.
So, like you said, limited interaction with the team right now, but what are you seeing in your 2020 team that kind of excites you and motivates you for this coming year?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's always some positives to be taken. And first of all, the guys did a great job in the winter program, which finished up on the 13th of March. the guys really did a great job. They really knocked it out in terms of the numbers, the production, the improvement we saw that way. But maybe every bit as important, in my opinion at least, is the way the team was coming together, and they really seemed to be looking out for each other and working well. And I think that's continued these past 6 weeks, be it virtually instead of together as a group. But I think the guys are looking out for each other, communicating well, and that's a big part of spring practice too. Is it never, and I always say this to media, it never looks very good to me, at least on the field. Things aren't really meshing the way you'd like or the way you'd expect. The other part about during the season, spring ball, is even though you're not necessarily seeing it on the outside, there's a lot of chemistry that's getting developed, and the guys really understand how to work. So the work part we're not getting right now, but I think the chemistry is continuing to build. So hopefully whenever we do get back on the field, we're going to put ourselves in a position where we'll have a chance to compete and make progress fast, because we're going to have to do that, certainly.
I see your wife, Mary, walking around in the background a little bit. How's she doing, first of all? And second, what is quarantine like in the Ferentz household? How you guys doing?
Hi, Laura.
Hi, Mary.
She just says she has no idea she's on an interview right now. Not to quote-unquote Hawkeye Nation there. There you go. So it's all been pretty good. It's, I guess if there's one positive, you always try to find positives. I think for everybody, there's been more quality family time. Our coaches, some of them might tell you they've got a little too much of it. Our kids are all out of the house now and older, so it's a little different scenario for Mary and I. But for our other guys that have kids at home, there have been some real positives there. So, more family time than we normally have. Typically, the last 5 weeks, we've been pushing pretty hard. And we'd be getting ready to go out recruiting here the next couple of weeks, and that's obviously not going to happen. So it's been different that way. I think most of the husbands would say, we've had a lot more time to do some of the chores at home. I know a lot of closets got cleaned right off the bat.
I couldn't ask for a better roommate, Laura.
There you go. We'll get that in writing later on, maybe, see if we can do what we can do there. But so Mary made the comment. She can't remember me doing yard work in April, so that's a first for sure. But it's been good. All in all, you just try to make the best of it, and maybe get some projects done that you never have time for. One project I've had is to clean my office out. I still am not doing that, but one of these days I'll get that done up in the facility.
Before I let you go and get back to your projects that I'm sure she has on your honey-do list, but what uplifting and positive messages are you sending to your team and your coaching staff that maybe you could send out to the rest of Hawkeye Nation?
I think probably the biggest thing, we've tried to focus on what's in front of us, knowing there's a lot of uncertainty. And I think uncertainty is probably the hardest thing for any of us to deal with in our lives, right? Just when you're not sure what the landscape's going to be. And we all go through that. College football is really important. It's important to us, obviously, especially the coaches and players that are doing it daily. But you also learn in life, there's a lot of other things that are bigger than that. And obviously, we're all hoping we'll be playing in September. But as I said right at the onset, if we're not, that means we have a lot bigger issues. So hopefully we won't get to that point. And then the other thing that comes out of this, I think, a couple of things. I think all of us will have a newer and deeper appreciation for just how good a life it is that we have. And I know we all complain about this and that, but in our country, boy, I tell you, we got it pretty good. And we all have the freedom to do the things that we love doing. And then the last thing is you just see so many people stepping up, whether it's, people that are transporting, the food that we're eating right now, people working in the grocery stores, obviously the first responders, be it medical, police, all those folks, and obviously the people in the hospitals. So there are a lot of people really stepping up right now that are, helping people in need and also helping find solutions as we try to move forward. So I'd say a lot of things when disastrous type things hit, there are a lot of people step up and do a lot of great things. So, just all of us hopefully do our part and do what we can to help. And right now it's just trying to abide by the advice that all the smart people have laid out for us.
All right. Well, Coach, thank you so much for your time today. I really do appreciate it. I can't wait to see you guys back on campus. Obviously, see the guys in their pads and their helmets. We can't wait. And we're all crossing our fingers for some Hawkeye football this fall.
Well, I hope our next interaction is either in the facility or on the field. So we'll look forward to that.
Absolutely. Thanks again, Coach.
Thanks, Laura. Appreciate it.